And we should be live.
And we are live just like that, everybody. Welcome to the Patrick Carr Show. A beautiful Monday morning here in Orlando, Florida, everybody. It's about 9:45 as we roll this episode, and that will actually mean something because we do have some stuff that is breaking right now. We're actually going to be talking about the Tate brothers. I don't even know, honestly, if that gets like suppressed right now on social media. So I'm going to say it that way at first so we don't have it in the first, 15 seconds right here, Anthony?
Yeah.
Like there's just a way to go ahead and get yourself suppressed, and that is definitely one of those words that can go ahead and do it. Welcome, everybody. As always, Anthony is behind the camera over here. Say what's up, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
How's your weekend, man?
Not too bad. Just went to, where is it? Like Punta Gorda area.
What'd you go to Punta Gorda for?
One of my friends moved over there, so we just had like a little weekend over there.
You and the girl go?
Yeah.
Nice. You got anything special?
No, just hanged out. Just went over there. Just went played some games and stuff like that. Watched FIFA World Cup and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, FIFA. Lord have mercy.
Honestly, it was kind of fun. They were fighting.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Yeah,
dude.
Who won it all? I don't even know.
It was Spain.
Spain won it all, huh?
Yeah.
Who do they play? I don't even know what the.
Argentina.
Okay, well,
yeah.
I was down there in South Florida this weekend, so I knew that there was Argentina flags everywhere.
Oh yeah.
So I knew something was going on, but again, I'm not big on soccer, so it wasn't a big deal to me. Everybody, if it's your first time joining the show here, maybe you follow us over on social media. Thank you very much for inviting us into your car, your home, or the office. Hopefully we can make this entertaining for you over the next 45 minutes to an hour as we discuss some pressing events that are happening both in Florida and across the country. Our show does primarily focus on the state of Florida, but I promise, regardless of where you're tuning in from, you're going to be able to find value with what we're going to be able to discuss today. Anthony, I got to start off the show here by telling everybody to OPD. All right. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Orlando Police Department has been the center of a lot of our criticism, Anthony, would be the way to put it. We've criticized the Orlando Police Department a lot here. And we've had Chief Smith on this show. I thought that he gave a good interview. Despite that, we have said that there are problems that are going on within this downtown Orlando area that need to be solved. And thus, what we said was we got problems. And we saw that there are fighting over and over going on downtown. We have the crime. We have small businesses leaving downtown. We have people that are underage drinking, loitering in the streets, general just vagrancy. And of course, all the catcalling and all the general BS that just goes with that. We have shown this over and over again on our show, and we have been pleading with leaders to do something about this. Well, you know what? The Orlando Police Department took the first step on Friday afternoon. They released an incredible video showing police officers over the past couple of months breaking up fights downtown. Now, for some people, I had probably a dozen people on Friday send me this video, and they said, hey, Patrick, look, it looks like you're getting to them. It looks like you're making a difference. And we are. Now, some people would say, well, these videos are from a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, before we really started talking about OPD. The key is not the enforcement that happened 3 months ago. It's that OPD is marketing that enforcement now is happening in downtown Orlando. We have 1.5 million views on that video, 1.5 million on Instagram. I want everyone to understand. All of us want the exact same thing in Central Florida. We want Orlando to change. And if I could have any message for OPD, I would say, look at your numbers on this one, OPD. Look at how many people are reacting to what you're doing. This is what the citizens of Orlando want. We want enforcement. We want law and order. We want this crap to stop in what was once a vibrant downtown district so that people, including families, can return to downtown and feel safe. This is what we want, OPD. More of this enforcement. Do this all the time. This crap can't go on downtown at the corner of streets. It can't go on underneath 55 West. And yes, we have highlighted this because we get sent these videos all the time. And OPD right now is taking the first step with us to say, no, we are not going to put up with this. And instead of marketing the fact that people are fighting downtown, hey, Patrick, why don't you go ahead and market what we are doing? And here's my chance to do it for y'all right now. Okay, we may not agree with everything that OPD has done in the past. Cool. That's in the past. If this is what OPD wants to become, this show is going to support it, brother. I'm telling you, Anthony, this is the kind of stuff that can move the needle. When you have government organizations like a police department that says, you know what? No, this isn't going to be the reputation that our department has. We're going to step out there and we're going to do some marketing and show people this is the kind of enforcement that you can expect in downtown Orlando. Don't start that crap around here. And if you do, you're going to jail. I love seeing this. I'm not critical of this at all. I love seeing this from OPD. More enforcement OPD, more arrest OPD. When I looked right here at the video, Anthony, and then I'll turn it over to you, I was looking right here, and it looks as though they did tout some, let me see here. I'm going to down to what they actually said. They were promoting the fact that between January and June of 2026, overall crime in downtown Orlando has decreased 19% compared to the same period last year. Now, we've had differences into why that is, okay? You've got to make arrests to show that crime, to show there is crime, and if you're not making arrests, then of course, it's going to appear that crime has gone down. I'm not going to focus on the negative, though, right now. I want to focus on the positive. 1,700 arrests were made between January and June of 2026, okay? And they got 69 illegal firearms. Okay, these are good things. There is no one part of me right now that wants to knock on OPD. They're trying to put out a video that makes sense to me. Like, this is what people want to see who are residents. This gets people excited right here to go, okay, these people care. Like, there's officers out there that are monitoring this stuff. It's not just a free-for-all in downtown Orlando. There's hope that we can clean up the streets of downtown Orlando when they look at videos like this. Folks, if you haven't seen the video, if you want to go see it, go to Orlando Police on Instagram or Orlando PD, whatever you want to put in. You can put it on Facebook as well. It's on there. Go look at their page. You can watch this. It's about a minute and a half, Anthony, I think. About a minute and a half long video right there. We will not put it on YouTube because it will censor our content on YouTube. And that means that we can't distribute the content to as many people because there is some fighting that goes on within the video. But I encourage you, go check it out. It shows police officers not taking any crap, cleaning up streets and saying, nope, we're not doing this in downtown Orlando. This is not going to be the city. This is not what represents us. Anthony, I know I went off on a rant right there, but I love seeing this. I loved this video. I mean, they show a guy getting tased about, I don't know how long away through it, but boy, I love this, man. And I love that OPD is putting this out. Great job, OPD.
Yeah, definitely love this video. And honestly, hopefully we can have more of this and just keep showing like, hey, we're going to fix downtown. And really, like, with Orlando, it's the main problem is downtown. There's nothing really else that OPD really.
Don't say that. I don't know. You're saying according to for OPD is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Now that I agree with. You're saying that OPD, the problem is downtown, not the other areas of Orlando as we see them.
Yeah, like, I mean, you got Winter Park, and Winter Park is fine and all that stuff. So I feel like downtown just needs more focus right now, and I feel like they just need to clean it up.
They do need to clean it up. And this is the start, okay? Mm-hmm. So I don't want my audience to say, oh, it's OPD, they're not doing their job. Look, no, this is a good thing. Don't look at this from the perspective of how many have they missed, and there's so much more that they missed than what they catch. Okay, and we can also be happy that an Orlando Police Department is now marketing and saying, okay, this is what we stand for. They're not just sitting back and going, well, we're just going to let the narrative prevail that fights are allowed in downtown Orlando. We're actually going to say, no, this is not acceptable. And when I see 1.5 million views and counting on a 48-hour post, it tells me exactly what we already knew here on this show, that all of us in Central Florida feel the exact same way, that we want more law and order. We don't want the streets to have fights on them, and we want to get rid of the riffraff downtown who causes problems. I'm going to tell you, Anthony, I had this guy make a video about me over the weekend. I'm calling me whatever, I'm wrong about, arrest people, incarcerate people. Mm-hmm. Guy's all upset. I'm going to tell you this, everyone. I have a strong affinity for arresting people when they break the law. Hard stop. Now, does that mean that I don't have empathy for people? Of course I do. And anybody who watches my show, if you follow me, I have a lot of empathy for people that are homeless, because I truly feel that everybody is 3 circumstance choices or situations away from being where that person is. But the homeless is not who we're talking about here. When you watch this video from OPD, if you go watch it right now, if you're watching us on Facebook or Instagram, click off, go over there and watch it and come on back. We'll be here. But what I'm telling you is you don't see the homeless being run down, do you? You see a bunch of people that are downtown that are young men and women starting fights and doing illegal things in the streets. It's not at daytime either. What do you know? All of them are late at night. Go look at the timestamp when you can see it on the body cam footage, or look at the timestamp that it has if it's from a street light or not a street light. Yeah, a street light where there's a camera. Yeah. They have the timestamp right there. It's late at night. It's people that are there to cause problems. They're drinking. Enough of this. I have no sympathy for those people at all. They need to go to jail, and you need to teach them a lesson. That is what people react to in this world. People react to there being consequences when they make bad decisions, and that is what we need more of. We don't need intervention in these kids. And I say kids very lightly, everybody. These are young adults. They know the difference between right and wrong. Stop treating people based on, well, you know what? Everybody deserves to make mistakes in life. Yes, you do. And I vividly remember being a young man having to go to jail multiple times for fighting in stupid situations and bad decisions and choices. And what do you know? I made better choices because of that. It had nothing to do with where I grew up in a mobile home, or where what happened to me, or the color of my skin in my life. It had to do with the fact that I had consequences for the decisions that I made. I made choices. Those choices had repercussions. Those repercussions led to better choices in the future. These young men and women who are making poor choices downtown need repercussions for what they're doing. And we need the Orlando Police Department to understand that and stand behind it. I love what is happening right here, brother.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's going to take time. It's not going to be fixed in a day. It's just going to take time. And I think this is a good move in the right direction, and just beautiful. More of it. And I think hopefully it'll just soon it'll be better.
It's a great first step. What we want to do here is promote and encourage OPD when we see great things, not just sit here and bash on OPD every day. Like, oh, look at another fight downtown that we were sent. I want to give credit because I want downtown to be better. I don't just sit here and bash it because I'm like, oh, it sucks. I want to keep it sucking so we have something to talk about. No, I want a vibrant downtown, Anthony, where you and I can go after work and we can bring the people that we care about and family and all that, and we can have an enjoyable, safe time. That's our goal here, everybody. Believe me, there's enough corruption in this world that we don't need Orlando to be able to talk about corruption. There's plenty that is out there, but we want to see Orlando improve. That's why we call attention to it. And this is a great step in that direction. Anthony, I want to go to our next story right here. Well, it keeps us here close to Orlando. In fact, it keeps us in Orange County. And I want to keep with our police theme as with the first half of the show, or the first quarter of the show right here. I want to talk about Sheriff John Mina. He is asking for an 11% raise for his office for the Orange County Police Department. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the Central Florida, you've got Orange County. That's a larger department. And then you've got Orlando, the police department within that. So you've got a sheriff's office and you've got a police department within it. So the largest city within Orange County is Orlando. So now we're talking about the greater county level right here. When you look at this, it's a large office. All right. I want to make sure I get it right here. I want to say it's about, what is it? 1,900 officers. I want to say approximately. Yeah. 1,939 deputies within the Orange County Sheriff's Office. They get 29,000 calls for help every single month. And John Mina, the sheriff, is asking for an 11% hike in what he receives. Now, here's my thought, everybody, when I saw this, is that I have no problem with the sheriff's office asking for more money. In fact, I think that they probably have a need for more revenue to come in, because they need to hire new officers. They need new technology. I love what OPD has done when it comes to the drone tech. I'm sure that Orange County is looking for ways that they can increase their tech on their side. There's a lot of need at this level, all right? Because when you're getting 29,000 calls a month, I do like what John Mina said right here, because he said this, quote, law enforcement is in a different position. We can't tell people, no, we're not going to come. And he's right. So you must have officers that are present in order to take all of these calls. And there's going to be people who criticize or say that should John Mina ask for this much money? Should we be applying so much money over to the police? Should we go to other places with it for funds and affordable housing or government programs, blah, blah, blah. You're missing the point of everything, everyone. The point of this segment is not to say or debate whether the police deserve this money. It's why aren't they going to get it? All right. Why is there a controversy? Well, it's because Orange County has failed so miserably at bringing in money that they can't afford police, that they're getting rid of mental health programs inside of the jails, that they're looking at doing freezes on hiring across the board, with or without Amendment 3 coming through. There is such a budget deficit within Orange County that they are right now telling people we're probably going to have a hiring freeze and nothing's going to happen in the county. But why? Why would that be the case? Well, Orange County has about 1.5 million people. Last year, the county grew by about 7,000 people. It sounds fine, but I promise you, everyone, it's not. See, more babies were born than died. That's about 7,200 people. People moved here from other countries. That added just over 20,000 people. But the third number is the one that counts. That's people moving to other parts of the country. That number is negative 20,300 people. Say that again, everyone. 20,300 people packed up their bags and left Orange County and said, we are getting out of here. The county only grew because of birth rates and because of individuals coming from other countries. That's it. Domestically, we did not grow at all. Now, we only grew 0.5%. For years, we grew fast. We grew 18% from 2015 to 2025. I mean, and we've grown 24 of the last 25 years. And last year, we cut that number to 0.5% of growth. Everybody is flocking to Florida, everyone. We all know it. We're talking about it every single day. How many people from the Northeast are coming to Florida? Everyone's coming here. Leave your politics back at home. We're a red state. That is what Republicans have been saying here for years since COVID. Meanwhile, Orange County, we have more people leaving that are coming than are coming here. And the only reason we have grown at all, that we're even close, is from people from other parts of the world coming to Orange County. I want you to think about that, everyone. We should be getting growth from surrounding counties and people that want to come to Orlando to be a part of our growth over here. Lake County shouldn't be growing faster than what Orange County is. Volusia County shouldn't. Seminole County shouldn't. But Orange County is dying on the vine, and the only thing that is holding it up is Walt Disney World. Well, how do I say that? Because that's the only thing people from other parts of the world know about Orlando. And so the only way that people are coming here is that they're recognizing, oh, it's Orlando. Okay, I'll move there. Hey, maybe we should relocate to Orlando. They don't really understand what Orange County is all about. They just understand Disney World. And yes, that is a very simplistic way of looking at it. But I want everyone to think about how that starts with every family across the world when they're thinking about where they're going to move. Do you think Orlando just comes to their mind because we've got such a thriving metropolis? No. Do you think Orange County is what people think about? No. They think about, oh, where's Disney? Oh, that's in Orlando. Okay, let me look in Orange County. That seems like a great place for our family coming from Spain. Mm-hmm. But meanwhile, people that are here in Florida, no one's coming to Orange County that's here. No one in Tampa is moving to Orange. Nobody that lives in Vero Beach is wanting to move to Orange County because everyone realizes it's a place that you go to die when it comes to a small business. People are leaving in droves out of here with their families to go to surrounding counties. And if you need any more evidence of that, just look at the school board right now, closing 7 schools this year with more schools on the chopping block for next year. They're $27 million short on their budget in the schools alone because people are leaving and there's no kids to go to these schools, everyone. Meanwhile, property values ain't doing what they should do, and they can't make up the difference right now. And so we have a problem in Orange County, and it's not with Sheriff John Mina and him asking for an 11% increase in his funding. It's with the fact that the budget is such a shortfall because city leaders have created an environment that people do not want to live in. When you have 29,000 calls, am I saying that's crazy? No. But I am saying that people don't want to live in Orange County when the property values are so high and you get so little in return for what you pay for. And meanwhile, you've got a government, which we're going to talk about soon, is just ran by a bunch of liberal Democrats. And there are a bunch of business owners that have just said, I'm tired of this crap. All right. If you're anything like me, I mean, I live in the surrounding. I live in Orange County and I work actually over in Seminole County. Okay. My office is here. Has anyone else just seen how much we get taxed? I mean, Lord, man, as a small business right now, the check that I write to the government or QuickBooks takes out every single week that we do for you all, it's just absolutely insane. We're taxed so much. And as small business owners, we just want to know where that money is going. We want to feel like, hey, listen, I'm actually getting some bang for my buck. And in Orange County, you don't feel like that's happening right now. Mm-hmm. The budget in Orange County is $8.9 billion, Anthony.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy.
Unbelievable on this side right here. I think for me, when I look at this, it's not going to stop. It's not going to change. Not now, not next year. I think it will take an actual negative number. I think not even counting people coming in from overseas. Next year, there will be negative growth in Orange County. And I want everyone to think, I bet we're the only county next year that has negative growth in all the state of Florida. And I mean that. In fact, could you do a quick research? Yeah. What is the average percentage of growth for per county for a county in Florida the last 12 months? I mean, if you look at Orange County, it's up 0.5%. I bet other counties on average, I bet it's 6 to 7% increase. I mean, I'm going to go that high. What do we got? Net percent.
It says about approximately 0.84%.
0.84. So we're about down 40% of what other counties are at. All right. So 0.84 and we're at 0.5. So that, when I look at it, that's a pretty substantial, 0.4? Yeah. Well, actually, no, than that, 0.6 differential right there.
Yeah.
A 60% differential. That's a big difference, everybody. And so when I look at that, I was way off on the 8%, by the way, 8%. I mean, that would be insane now that I think about it. When I look at that, I think we are down for a reason while everybody else is up. We're on the bottom end. If it's 0.84, that means there's certain ones that are going up 1%, 1.5. And then there's some that are like us that are dragging that percentage down over in Orange County. And there's a reason, everyone. People don't want, there's no reason to live in Orange County anymore. If you're going to live, I live there. I mean, yeah, you've got Winter Park? What else do you got, Anthony? What else do you live in Orange County for right now? Oof. I mean, okay. I mean, listen, there are going to be people that just bombard me with the things that they do in Orange County, the reason they love it. But for me, it comes down to maybe a few places that you can go to. And there is more people that are leaving this county than ever before, especially people that live in Florida. They just don't want to be a part of it. They want to go to Lake. They want to go to Volusia. They want to go to Hillsborough. They want to go to Polk. More bang for your buck, things to do there. You can drive if you needed to do something in Orange County. And people are leaving.
Yeah, so it's definitely, I think just Orange County in general just has definitely just started blooming up and just so expensive. And then it's just not worth it.
It's not worth it anymore. Mm-hmm. I want to do our third story of the day right here. Oh, boy. I got sent this one about a dozen times over the weekend, Anthony. We're talking about the brothers, Andrew and Tristan, Tate. You can't even say the word without being suppressed on social media right now. It's like back when we had the epidemic or whatever, you couldn't say the COVID word. Mm-hmm. And now it feels that way with these two brothers. All right. Let's dive into it. All right. Andrew and Tristan Tate were arrested Saturday in Miami. U.S. Marshals took them under a sealed warrant into custody, and Britain is the one who wants them back, everybody. Now, I am not going to focus on this show on whether I think the Tate brothers should be arrested or should they not be arrested, should they, all that stuff. The reason I'm not going to focus on it is because if for every opinion that I have, there is another opinion on the other side, and people are just going to go back and forth with what they think is right and wrong, if they're good people or bad people. What I would rather do is give you the facts of how this case is going to progress so that you can be the most knowledgeable person possible on this case. So there are a lot of people saying, all right, this is all going to come down to what a judge says. And partially that is true, but it's more going to come down to one guy in Florida. You're familiar with him. His name is Marco Rubio. Let me explain. All right, here's how this process works. Step one, Britain went and asked the U.S., send us these guys. That's already done. The marshals have arrested them. Done. That's over with. Step two, they are going to see what's called a federal magistrate. Bail is almost never going to happen in cases like this, and their lawyer even expects them to stay locked up. That is step two. We're in the middle of that right now. Step three is what comes next, a hearing in front of a federal judge. Now, here's how this works. That judge is not deciding if they are innocent or guilty. The judge is deciding just one thing. Does the request meet the rules of the treaty between America and Britain? That's it. It is not a trial for their innocence or their guilt. Step four, if the judge says yes, he signs a paper called a certificate of extradition. Then he sends the file to the State Department. That judge's job is completely done. And step five is where Marco Rubio steps in, and that will be the key signature or not in this case. The Secretary of State is the official responsible party for deciding whether to hand someone over to another country. If he does not sign off on it, that extradition is not happening. Now, even if he does, you can file an appeal. That appeal is never going to go through. So this is all going to come down to Marco Rubio. If he puts his signature on that paper of extradition, they are going back to Britain. If he decides that he has looked at the case, and in this case, he can look at everything. He will receive letters from the defendants. He can receive letters from Great Britain. He's going to receive all evidence put in front of him. And then he will make a choice whether to extradite these two men. That is what it's going to come down to. It's not the judge, everybody. Everyone's going to pay attention to what the judge says in this case, but it's truly going to come down to Marco Rubio. Now, this is where things get real interesting, bro. All right? Like, there are two different sides to the Republican Party. On one side, you've got the state level, which is going to be like Uthmeyer, who's our attorney general, and you've got DeSantis at the as our governor. Those two completely against the Tate brothers. All right. They have been very vocal. When the Tate brothers arrived in Florida, not Marco Rubio, but DeSantis was famous for saying, you're not welcome here. Mm-hmm. Uthmeyer has opened up a criminal investigation against both brothers on behalf of the state of Florida. So you have the local level Republicans, the state and local level, saying, we don't want you here, right? But then you've got people like Donald Trump at the national level who seem to have been a little bit more buddy-buddy with the Tate brothers. There's rumors that he had put pressure on the Romanian government to release the Tate brothers. And so they gave them their passport backs, and that's how they arrived back here in Miami, where they are dual citizens. So there tends to be this, like, I'm not sure, is the Republican Party for these guys or are they against them? Is it just individuals within the party that feel a certain way? I'm not sure. But at the local level, there surely is no love loss between the Tate brothers and your DeSantis and Uthmeyer type guys. And then at the national level, there seems to be a level of at least quiet support for them. Whether it's ever going to be something that someone like a Donald Trump ever comes out and says, hey, I'm about this life. Left to be remained. It's unsure right now. Let's say it's left unknown. Mm-hmm. I believe that in this case here, what I want everyone to watch is not just what happens when the judge says, yes, they need to be extradited. It's going to happen what happens when Marco Rubio gets that paper in front of him. Now, in 2007, the treaty between Great Britain and the United States was strengthened, and I don't see Rubio stopping this extradition. It sets a bad precedent. Yeah. Whether Marco Rubio agrees or not with the extradition, he's got to abide by the treaty. So I see the brothers going back over and having to face whatever court they have to face and how that works over there in Great Britain, okay? That's what I see happening. I'm not sure what you think about this because it was major news here, Anthony, on Saturday as we saw the Tate brothers in what looked to be like a mall or a public area being arrested by the U.S. Marshals and taken into custody.
Yeah, so it's definitely interesting. And I hope that Marco Rubio sends them back to Great Britain because, I mean, I think we have a treaty or like a a deal going on, which I think they should honor it and let them decide what they should do for the Tate brothers over there.
I think you will. And I think that there are people that are for the Tate brothers, and there's surely people that are against.
Mhm.
I'm not here to argue on one side or the other on this one. Okay. I don't have enough facts in the case for me to make that argument. And I don't think many people do. All right. I think most people have a feeling about them, and that's how they felt for a long time. And you're not going to change anyone's mind about them. If you don't like them, nothing I can say is going to make you like them. And if you defend them and you believe they're good people that have just been targeted for their political beliefs and how they feel men should act, then you're going to feel that way. Nothing I'm going to say is going to change that. So what I want to do is I want you to understand how this case is actually going to proceed, because it could be today or tomorrow that they get in front of a judge and everybody's going to make a big deal out of whatever the judge says. We already know the charges that are against him. They've had the same charges against him, I don't know, for how many years now in different parts of the world. Nothing there should surprise anybody. But what is going to be the point in this case for everyone to look at is what Marco Rubio does once that judge signs that paper of extradition. It will tell us a lot about how the federal government feels about these brothers. And I think it's going to say a lot about how much swing and sway they have at the federal level. A lot of people have thought that, them and Donald Trump were a little bit buddy-buddy, at least silently. It'll be very interesting as Marco Rubio does serve the president, what he decides to do in this case. Because I've got to think that through back channels, the brothers are probably petitioning the highest levels of government to show them some kind of mercy or leniency and not send them back to Britain, where I am positive they're going to have to answer either fairly or unfairly to the charges that have been brought before them. And again, I say that because it will depend on how you feel about the Tate brothers.
Yeah.
Anything else about this one, brother?
No, and I think to be honest, at least for me, as president or whatever, or with Marco Rubio, I don't think you should look at it be like, oh, I like this person, so I'm not going to send him over. You should look at it not biasly, be like, hey, this person did this, and we got to send him over, depending on if I like that person, regardless. And I think they should look at it fairly.
Yeah, I think in cases like this, it is less about the facts of the case and more about the country that you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a treaty with Britain, and it is our role and theirs to abide by that treaty. And part of that treaty is that if they ask for something and a person to be extradited, we give it to them. And when we want someone extradited from there, they give it to us. It goes both ways. Mm-hmm. And so I know that this is a high-profile case, which is even more reason why we have to not just look at the case itself, but the country that is requesting the extradition. And I agree with you, Anthony, that when you have the treaty that is in place, it's very important that both countries abide by it, not just when it's convenient, because that's the reason you put in treaties, for when it's not convenient to the country. It's like, why do you have a contract with when we make a contract as a small business? You don't do it for when everything's going great. You make a contract for when things don't go great. That way everybody can look at it and go, this is what we agreed to. And so this is a time when it matters because there's controversy surrounding the extradition. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree with that, because I, again, don't have all the facts of their case. For crying out loud, it's been going on for how many years now? I can't tell you how many times I've heard these guys are in the news for another arrest, or they're being extradited, or they're in jail. I don't even know the facts of all the reasons that they are. It's overwhelming. But I can tell you it's going to tell you a lot about our government and our relationship with Britain in the days to come. What Marco Rubio elects to do in this case is going to make all the difference right here.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to story number 4, everybody. This is one that we had covered previously. All right. If you're not familiar, in Seminole County, everyone, a few weeks back, a gentleman by the name of Kenneth Bevan Jr., who's a 50-year-old assistant principal at Winter Springs High School, was arrested for being a DUI on an e-bike. Now, why is this making our show this time around? Well, because they just released the body cam footage. And that body cam footage shows Bevan on his e-bike. He's got a 12-pack of Budweiser right there in the front basket. And he is traveling about a mile down the road from us right here, Anthony. You know where that Publix is down the street? not the one that is right here on the right, but the one down on the left. He's right in front of that. You know, the 7-Eleven. It has the First Watch in that plaza. Yeah. So he got kicked out of a bar at that plaza, went across the street on his e-bike, and went to that 7-Eleven right there and bought himself a 12-pack of Budweiser. He goes to get onto his e-bike after being kicked out of that bar, and the police are like, nah, man, don't get on that bike. Do not drive it home. Here's your warning. Don't do it. Bevan puts the 12-pack into the front basket and gets himself on that bike and starts e-biking his way home here in Seminole County. And folks, if you don't know the area, about like an eighth of a mile down the street, the police obviously were watching him. They catch up with him. Pull him over is a little bit of a weird thing to say. They just move him over to the side and they arrest him for DUI on his e-bike. They even say inside of the body cam footage, you can see that they clearly ask him or tell him, we gave you a warning not to get on the bike. You got on the bike anyway. He then kind of looks at them and says, I'm being arrested for I was riding a bike. He's obviously confused about this situation, right? He says, quote, no, I just want to go home. The deputy responds, quote, right now you're under arrest for driving under the influence, okay? He refuses to take a breathalyzer, which is a separate charge in and of itself. He did post bond. He pleaded not guilty, blah, blah, blah. Anthony, I've got some interesting takes on this because at first, when we heard about this story, I was extremely critical of the teacher. Okay. We probably got about a half a dozen messages from people on Facebook and Instagram who said he was a fine educator. All right. And that he had a good record and that he was a fine educator and that, hey, my kids liked him. My kids went to school with him. You know, hey, the guy made a mistake. He was on an e-bike. Let's not hold him too much to this one right here. And I kind of had my feelings about that, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you are driving drunk on an e-bike, you can swerve into the lane. You could cause an accident, somebody having to miss you. There are things that could be done wrong, right?
Yeah.
And so I really had some, I don't know. I went back and forth about this one. Like, how serious is this? Is it as serious as a DUI when you get behind a car? No, of course it's not. All right. You're not going to kill anybody hitting them with an e-bike, but you could cause an accident as well. So it's serious, but it's not as serious as this over here. So there's like this gray area that's in between to me. Do you agree with that?
No, I fully agree. And it's kind of hard too, because even before this whole e-bike craze was going on, like I remember like 10 years ago being in downtown Orlando, drinking some drinks and having that little scooter, be like,
yeah, I've done it.
But it's not right. Like I'm thinking like that's not a e-bike or like I'm not gonna get charged with the DOI, but seeing this, it's like, oh, after everything going on, it's like, I don't know. It's hard.
It is, man. And so there are two things I want to bring to light in this case, okay? And they both have to do with Seminole County. The first is this. For anybody who may disagree that it's a gray area, well, it's very apparent the police believe it's a gray area as well. I'll explain. Think about this. Bevan is given a warning not to get onto an e-bike. Right? He's at the 7-Eleven buying a 12-pack of Budweiser. It's obvious what he's going to do. And they say, no, don't get on that bike. We're giving you a warning. And then the police sit back and they watch for him to get on the bike and then they pulled him over. It's very clear that's what they did. Think if that was a vehicle. Do you think the police would have let someone get into a vehicle drunk and just watched them drive off? Of course not. As soon as they got in the car, they would have done something about it and they would have arrested that person. The police knew what he was going to do. And in my opinion, if the police would have just taken that bike away from him and not given him the opportunity to make a mistake like that, they could have helped this man. He's a guy that obviously was drunk. He'd been kicked out of a bar. If it was a car and you took it as seriously with a vehicle, you wouldn't have let that happen. But what they did is they said, let's sit back here. Well, it's 100 yards back. We know he's pretty drunk. Let's see what happens. They watched him get on the bike. They watched him get down the street, turn a corner, and they pulled him over. I mean, we're talking, folks, a couple hundred yards. They had the guy pulled over. You can see in the body cam footage, and I know the area between that 7-Eleven and that Publix. The 7-Eleven and that Publix. So even Seminole County looks at this as being a little bit of a gray area when it comes to what is acceptable and what isn't. It goes by their enforcement, not by the arrest. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think too, I feel like the police did everything right. I mean, I know you said to take away the bike, but I feel like he could have just. I mean, it's a bike. It's not like a car. He could walk with the bike home, and
Yeah, and he even says when he's getting arrested, he's like, "Hey, how about just walking home the rest of the way?" And like, "No, we saw you riding it. We're going to jail." Okay, is that really? I mean, I guess for me, do we want is a DUI like I get behind a car and I'm driving drunk? Do we want that to have the same kind of penalty as getting on an e-scooter or an e-bike? Shouldn't there be some in between right here?
yeah, I agree. There
I
should
get
be
it.
an in between.
Yeah.
I don't think it's almost like what is it like manslaughter and murder? Where it's like there's a gray area.
Intent.
Yeah, I don't know. I
I'm
feel like there's something in between. Like there has to be something in between that, and I don't know what that could be, but
Yeah, this one's just really tough, man, to be honest with you, because I'm like, if you go watch the body cam footage, you can see the guys innocently sitting there like, what? Like, what do you mean? Yeah, give me a ticket. I'll walk this thing home. And you can tell he's very surprised by, what do you mean I'm going to get I'm riding a bike? You can tell it's kind of like, what is going on here? And I don't think that's like a manufactured surprise. It looks genuine to me in the body cam footage. But that can be debatable, and people can you can disagree with me on this one and say, hey, listen, Pat, you're wrong. Your first thought about this being a DUI is correct. He could have swerved into a lane, caused some car to run off the road. It's irresponsible that he does this. Stay with your first train of thought. Okay, there is no gray area here, and I get those people, and I can understand where they're coming from. I'll tell you the problem, though, Anthony, is not the real issue is with the statement from Seminole County School Board. That's who I want to focus on in this story. What the Seminole County School Board said is absolutely disgusting. If you want to talk about just inept government, there's no one worse than Orlando. Nobody. But Seminole County School Board has got to be maybe number 2 in the count or in the country. Because when they had this statement to say about Bevan's arrest, I was floored. Folks, I'm not making this up. From the Seminole County School Board, his boss, quote, Mr. Bevan is currently outside of his contract with the Seminole County public school system due to summer. Let me repeat that one more time. Mr. Bevan is currently outside of his contract with SCPS. I hate saying it that way, right? God. I'll just say Seminole County because it sounds better. Yeah. Mr. Bevan is currently outside of his contract with Seminole County due to summer. Therefore, this is a personal matter versus a district matter. Mr. Bevins is currently outside of his contract with Seminole County due to summer. Therefore, this is a personal matter versus a district matter. So here's my question for Seminole County. What is a serious enough crime to where it does matter? DUI is not a serious enough crime. So if we had somebody that beat on his girl, would that be enough? Or do you allow that person just to come be a teacher again? If you have somebody that attempts a murder charge, are they allowed to come back and be a teacher as long as they do it during the summer? If somebody poisons their spouse and, puts them in the hospital, are they allowed to come back and be a teacher for kids? But it happened in the summertime, so I guess it's allowed if you're according to Seminole County. Seminole County just came out and said, everybody, how dumb is this? They literally said, if you do something during the summertime, you're outside of contract, so it's a personal matter. It has nothing to do with the school system. So for all your parents out there that have kids going to a Seminole County public school, I want you to know that teachers are not held accountable for what they do when they're out of school or normal school hours. When teachers are outside in the summertime, it's summer for the teachers. They can go do whatever they want. They can break the law. And you know what? Seminole County Public Schools goes, whatever. You can come back because that's personal right there. How many parents do you think would like to know that? How many teachers have been arrested, had something happen during the summertime that has not been reported to parents? It's probably scary because Seminole County doesn't even take it seriously. And at what point, I would ask Seminole County, is it taken seriously? At what point do you say, you know what, this might be something that we need to look at? Because if DUI is not enough, what is? Yeah. It's accountability at the government level, everyone. That's all we ever ask for on the show is accountability for some at the government level. It's summertime, so okay. When will it actually count then? That's the question that we want to ask. And to be honest, if it's not DUI, I guess it just doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Seminole County, what a joke on this one.
Yeah, and this is especially too, this is not a good lesson for any of the students that come in, because then they look at this and be like, oh well, okay, well, if my principal doesn't get or assistant principal doesn't get any repercussions for this over the summer, then nothing should go for my way. And him going on an e-bike, I don't like that. There has to be something.
I agree with you, because this principal has to come back and face his kids. Can you imagine if a kid was driving recklessly on an e-bike, outside of the school parking lot? How is he going to stop that kid? Right? Hey, man, be careful on that e-bike. And he's going to look back at his principal and go, give him the finger. Like, who are you to tell me? All right.
Yeah.
Because educators have to hold themselves to a high standard. That doesn't mean that they can't make mistakes, though. And I have empathy for that. I can understand it. I don't think this guy should lose his job. Let me be very clear. But what I do believe is that when Seminole County comes out and says things like this, it shows why he, as an educator, thought that he could get away with something like this. Because he thought he wasn't thinking about the consequences from Seminole County, and it's clear about why. It's summertime. So if it's summertime in Seminole County, as a teacher, you can do anything you want. It's a free-for-all in summertime, Seminole County. Let's go. All right? Because Seminole County doesn't think anything matters in the summertime. If you're outside of the contract, it's a personal matter, everybody. It has anything to do with your kids or them being an educator or having to be a leader in the community. According to the school board, it's freaking summer, everyone. It's the Catalina wine mixer. All right? Let's have some freaking fun. And the Seminole County School Board wants teachers to go out and do whatever the heck they want with zero accountability because it's a personal matter. Not a school board matter. Come on. And now in August, it'll become a school board matter. But for now, go have some fun, everybody, and do whatever you want. Get that 12-pack of beer. Throw it on the front of the e-bike. Go do whatever you want. All right? That's what Seminole County believes, at least.
We did get a message from a person saying you can get a DUI while riding a lawnmower. So maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point. Solid, But I mean, what a way to get a DUI, though. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, there's a lot of dads out there that have been driving that mower drunk. Yeah. My dad, I've mowed the lawn after a few drinks. I have to admit, the lines were not straight. Now, given it was a push mower, though, all right, my lawn is about 50 yards by 15 yards. I mean, it's not big. It's like a small little square. All right, so it's a push mower. All right, everybody, I'm not getting out there on the John Deere flinging around going 20 miles an hour down the yard. But I bet there's a lot of dads that have driven that mower drunk. Yeah, got out there drinking a few Coors Lights.
Yeah, it's a hot day.
It's a hot day.
You want to chill.
It's summertime.
You're mowing a lawn. You gotta have some fun.
And it's summertime. Seminole County, man, anything goes. It's summer, bro. Come on. Yeah, but that's true. You definitely can. You've heard about that before. I've heard about like people getting those DUIs like on golf course communities, especially that they get that stuff.
Oh, like on golf carts and stuff like that? Like
golf carts too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. That it's definitely possible. I want to turn our attention to the worst allocation of money in the history of Orlando. I said it. I'm going to say it right now. The worst allocation of money in the history of Orlando. It just keeps on getting worse for downtown Orlando. And I'm sorry, everybody, that we have to talk about this. And I don't even know how to talk about this story. Because there's one building that should not get renovated in downtown Orlando. And it's the public library. We are renovating the public library, everybody, for $18 million. If you live in Orlando, you're going to recognize this building. It's the one that all the homeless people congregate around, that nobody who's a citizen ever goes to. And don't worry, it is getting an $18 million upgrade. $9 million of that is going to the roof, and then a bunch of other stuff is going to places that nobody ever goes to. It's all going to start with the first floor. They're going to get new front doors in a new location. The city approved it back in October. A brighter, more open lobby, curved service desk, a lot more seating, a program room with glass walls, new lighting throughout, moved book displays, and new public meeting rooms. What an absolute waste of funds. Will somebody please take a wrecking ball, take a crane, and knock the public library down in Orange County? It's downtown Orlando, everyone, taking up premium real estate there. And the only people that frequent the library are homeless people. It is a congregation of homeless people that no family wants to ever go to because of their safety. And no amount of refurbishment, or let's say no amount of restoration, is going to change that. Now we're just going to have a fancier place for the homeless to go in and hang out. Why the heck does anybody go to the library? Why? I mean, folks, the kids are not going there anymore. You're not going from UCF to go down to the Orlando Public Library and use the Dewey Decimal System, or going there to a meeting room. You have meeting rooms and countless other places that people can take advantage of. Every apartment complex has meeting rooms and Wi-Fi that you can go to. I mean, it is such a joke that we are putting $18 million towards a building that needs to be ripped down. Oh, but what about Fahrenheit 451? You can't burn the books. No, but you can get rid of the library and you can relocate it to another part of the city. It is taking up the most premium real estate that is left in downtown Orlando. So what you do is you take a wrecking ball and you just destroy the building. It goes down and you pay $1 million to have a company come there and haul off all the crap. And then you take and you build a nice big sky rise and you put multi-use things right there, multi-use restaurants and a Starbucks and a First Watch. You put all sorts of cool stuff down there that people can actually go to. And then you clean up the area and you move out the riffraff. And all of a sudden, property values go up and there's more money for the police. And there's more people to actually go to the entertainment district and spend money. Instead of just having a useless waste of space they call a library in downtown Orlando, taking up premium real estate. Take the wrecking ball. I'll save you $17 million and take it right to the building. And then I don't care what you do with the books. Go off someplace and outside of the city, some cheap, take some cheap hotel, rip it down, build the cheapest building you can buy or put up, and put the books in there. And let the 10 people from the county and from the city go there, because nobody is going to the public library. It is an ugly building, a useless building, and nobody even walks past the building. Like, you don't even, if folks, to give you an idea for everybody who's a realist in the world, you all know if you're walking down, what is that street that it's on? Is it Central? What is it on? The library. It's on, let me see. It's on Central. I was right. So it's on Central. When you're walking down Central, you don't even walk on that side where the public library is. Everybody walks to the other side where the parking garage is, right? No one crosses right there, because everyone knows, what are you going to deal with when you cross in front of the library? More homeless people, more crap that you got to deal with, asking you, getting pissed off. And heaven forbid if you're a woman crossing right there. And the library does nothing about it, because everybody should be inclusive and everybody deserves a spot there. And now we're going to renovate the bottom floor like that's going to do anything for what the library actually is, which is just a homeless encampment that nobody in downtown wants to be near. Sorry, I said the quiet part out loud that nobody wants to say. Meanwhile, you jump onto like Instagram and you have all these cupcake accounts. They're like, oh, yay, we're getting an upgrade to the library. Look at what we're going to get in Orlando. Who are these people? Like, stop. Like, nobody gives a crap about the Orlando Public Library. The building should be ripped down, and then you get some great facilities moved in there on top of a beautiful sky rise. Throw those rents through the roof and start to get some crap out of there and get some people that can actually afford to pay for entertainment down in that area. And people, oh, Pat, that's not fair. Everybody should have, no, it is fair. Not everybody can live in every part of a city. You're going to have parts that are nicer than others. But I'll tell you what's not nice is going to be anything they do to the public library. $18 million wasted. And we're going to get, don't worry, Anthony, we're going to get plans for this on July the 23rd, this week. I can't wait to see the renderings of this, the drawings for what we're going to receive. We'll do that, on Friday? We'll have that show, be able to show people the stupid drawings they're going to come out with for what they're going to do to the library in downtown Orlando. This is such a liberal Democrat thing to do. I mean, I am so against this. It's the stupidest investment of millions of dollars. No one's going to say, boy, I'll tell you what, I wasn't sure what to do here on Saturday afternoon. Have you heard about the library? They renovated the inside. Want to go check it out? Said nobody ever, and nobody ever will. because it's the dumbest investment of $9 million you can possibly, or 18 million, 9 million just to fix the roof. Just let the roof cave in. It'd be the best thing that ever happened to the building.
Yeah, I was looking at it and I was like, well, I already saw like how much they spent already, but I was like, why is it $18 million? I was like, oh, it's probably because they got to make up those drawings and those renovations. So that's probably like $10 million right there.
Oh,
but
yeah. I mean,
they spent 1.38. So it's probably $1 million right there. It's probably the renovation drawings that the guy made.
You're right. Probably did spend $1 million, whatever drawings we're going to get July the 23rd here. They're going to debut it. They're going to debut it in Orlando like it's something we're celebrating. Can you imagine how far this city has fallen? We dig up 300 feet of street on Church Street with some bricks and we crush some curbs. We think that's a big celebration. We get like a new roof on our stupid library that nobody ever goes to, and we're going to fix around the inside with some new desk, a floor, and maybe some meeting rooms. And that is the big celebration in downtown Orlando and Orange County. Like, that is real progress. Man, I was down in South Florida this weekend.
Yeah.
When you drive through Miami, there are cranes everywhere, sky rises everywhere, progress, malls. It is unbelievable what is happening down in South Florida. Go to Jacksonville, go to Tampa, it's the exact same thing. It is a sprawling city with progress. Come to Orlando. I'm driving through yesterday, like late afternoon, not one crane in downtown Orlando. Folks, go look at it. Go drive down I-4, look to both sides and see, do you see any progress, anything being built? Is anybody moving here to downtown Orlando? And of course they're not, because they're investing in stupid things like this. This isn't worth celebrating. I see, like, listen, Anna Escamani, she was on the show last week or 2 weeks ago. She talked about this library thing. I've seen some of her constituents that have talked about it like it's some kind of progress the city is making. It's disgusting that we've fallen so far that a roof on a library is worth celebrating, and some meeting rooms and some different kind of desk and a floor. Meanwhile, there are billion-dollar buildings and architecture going up in South Florida in a city that should be just like Orlando. We should be doing the exact same thing. They're putting up these arches in downtown Miami, okay?
Yeah.
That serve no purpose, Anthony. Okay, they're just decorative in downtown Miami because they have so much money flooding into Miami right now because property values are skyrocketing. They're building more and more condos, and they got so much freaking money, they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Right? Why can't we have that? We want that. Oh, we don't want to displace anybody or upset anyone. What we need is more affordable housing for people. No, what we need is to knock that building down and build a sky rise on this thing. All right? 100 stories high. Let's make our skyline something worth looking at. It looks like we're like Milwaukee. I mean, Milwaukee puts us to shame. My God, man, we're $18 million for a library. And that's not the end of it. They're going to invest more money into this piece of crap.
I will be devil's advocate.
Oh God.
Hear me out. As a film person, they have a pretty cool program there because they have like a whole fucking soundstage and like a whole LED wall, all this stuff in the freaking downtown library.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I haven't been there because
whoa, what? You haven't been there?
This is where I'm
playing
devil's advocate. Okay, hear me out.
All right.
They got all this cool stuff for me, like for all this stuff, like an LED wall. They got the soundstage, all this cool stuff.
Okay.
I want to go there, but I don't want to go to downtown for one.
Mm-hmm.
Two is that it just, I don't know. It's just like that area around the public library. I don't want to deal with it. And it's just not a aesthetically pleasing building. So I think, hear me out. I think keep the library. Don't invest $18 million because it already has a lot of money in it. Clean it up. Make it look nicer on the outside. Make it, I don't know. It looks like a freaking jail cell.
It does look like a jail. It's a disgusting building, built in the 1960s.
If it looked freaking cool, I'll be down for it. But it looks like a jail cell on the outside. So
your idea is, hey, listen, don't focus as much on the inside of this thing, right? You're saying make this thing look more like the Dr. Phillips Center.
Yeah.
Make this thing look more inviting. Make this thing look more like an art piece on the outside. And make it a safer place to go. Focus on that first, and then you've got stuff on the inside that people will come to.
Yes, but focus on that after we fix downtown. I feel like right now that's a lot of money we could fix somewhere else.
Yeah,
but that's later on.
And I want to be fair about this because this money that is allocated it's specifically allocated for the library. There is actually a separate millage fee. Mm-hmm. In other words, it's a separate line item that has to be used for the library. Okay. So we can't take this 18 million and apply it somewhere else. So they have to use it for the library. Now, is that a stupid way to use money? Of course it is. We've already discussed that. It's terrible. And that's why this government is failing in Orlando, because they use money for stupid things that nobody uses. All right. But to your point, if we have to use the money, what should we use the money for? Should it be for the inside or should it be for the outside, which 99.999% of residents are ever going to see, because nobody ever is going inside of the library. And if we do clean up the outside, could we actually make it someplace that people do want to come into? That to me is what was never considered about this project, right? Mm-hmm. They want to fix the inside, but you got to get people to walk through the doors. And nobody wants to come down there because it's destroyed. Downtown has been destroyed. And therefore, you've got more homeless down there, and it's not a safe environment, and no one feels safe. It doesn't matter what time of day to go there. It's just a building that sits there ugly as can be, that you drive past and you don't want to be near.
If they made it like some like giant windows and all this stuff to make it more inviting, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you could see all the empty space in there.
That's true. But
because nobody's there.
That's true.
But there used to be an argument for public libraries that, well, we can get Wi-Fi there. Everyone's got access to Wi-Fi. Go into any restaurant or public building, you can get Wi-Fi. You don't need a library for people to go there. Stop thinking that that's the case. People are they don't have that. Everybody's got access to it. Nobody goes to that place because it's a dump. And yes, you can go in and put lipstick on a pig. It's still going to be a dump. And I'm going to tell you, last thing I'll say about this. Well, why is it? Because it's an outdated technology and medium. You don't need the books anymore when people have Kindles and Apple and everything. You can get that same stuff delivered. I can open up my phone and get it delivered to my phone in a matter of seconds, whatever book that I want. You have an outdated technology there. Nobody is looking to go in there and get books unless you're some 75-year-old lady. I can't imagine why you're going to this place. There's just no point in it. And we're going to get some meeting rooms. Yeah, well, that doesn't solve the outside problem of the library. So even if you got good meeting rooms, is anybody going to hold a meeting there? No. Why would I? I don't want whoever's coming to that meeting, hey, listen, we're going to the library. Good luck, park over there and rush right in. So you don't have to deal with the crowd that's out there. The guy who's out front, who's got schizophrenia, who's yelling at you about the sun is going to heat up the earth and we're all going to die. It's absolute crap. It's a complete waste of money, in my opinion. Or I do like what you're saying, Anthony. It could be better allocated. If you're going to have to use the money, use it more wisely.
Yeah.
Or just don't do it. Like, how I feel about it.
It's just the budget. I think that's the main thing with Orlando is that budget. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Stupid, man. Like this premium real estate downtown.
It's like we give all this money to you guys, but if you can't spend it, then and someone else needs some money, we're not going to give it to them. And I don't know. It just makes no sense to me.
And here's what I would ask Orlando. How are things going? How are things going in Orlando and Orange County as we move into our last segment of the day? They going well? Does everyone think in Orange County, if you live in Orlando, that, man, things are really looking up the last couple of years? Nah, probably not. That's why this show resonates with so many of you, because we all recognize that leadership has failed Orlando and Orange County. So I want to do a quick little dive into who is actually leading these areas. And I'm not a staunch Republican, okay? Although I am a registered Republican, I'm not a far right guy. I can tend to be a little purple on issues, or I can even be blue on some issues. But listen, folks, the numbers, they scream. Look at Orlando. It's ran completely by Democrats. Mayor's a Democrat. District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, all Democrats. Everybody's a Democrat. Everybody's a liberal. All of them. And at what point does a city go, it's failing? What you're doing is failing. We need new leadership if we're going to get a different result. We're insane right now if we think these people are going to fix the city. They're not. Democrat. All of them. Sitting there watching the city decay. And that's exactly what it's doing, everyone. We've already talked about the Orange County numbers. And so then I was like, all right, well, let's take a look at Orange County. What does that look like? Democrat, 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 Democrat. The one Republican has said, I'm out of here, and has already resigned. So it's all Democrats there as well. It's a completely Democratic leadership in Orange County and Orlando. And I want that to sink into my audience. I don't care if you are a Democrat or Republican. I want you to ask yourself, have things in Orlando and Orange County gotten better in the last couple of years? Or can you objectively look at it and go, hey, you know what? I might be a Democrat, but things are not going well. These leaders are not serving me right now. And I think that most people, if you're honest with yourself, would say, no, this is not going well. These people are not listening to me. They're not doing what I want. They seem to have their own agenda that they want to abide by, not mine. And as a constituent for them, I would challenge you not to look at party lines, but look at your own life. Look at what's going on around you. Do you feel like the streets are safer for you? Do you feel like you have more people that are looking out for your safety? More options and places for you to go to on a Friday or Saturday night with your family? Are there better educational choices for you? Do you have more opportunities in the county? Do you feel like there's a vibrant business and professional world that you can be a part of? Probably not. And it's because businesses are flooding out of Orange County. Families are flooding out of Orange County. Schools are shutting down in Orange County. In Orlando, you have crime in the streets, which luckily they're trying to do something about. Small businesses flooding out of downtown Orlando. You seemingly have people that are not responsible for anything that goes wrong, but want to take credit for everything that goes right. Visit Orlando, a great example of that.
Yeah.
What we have is we have a county and a city that is dying on the vine. And I want citizens to ask themselves, what in the past 4 years has gotten better in the county and the city right now? And if you're like me, you'll look at it and go, nothing. Can't really find much. Seems like everything is really stalled the last 4 years. And then I want you to go look at other cities. Go to Google Earth. Do a nice drop down on Jacksonville or Miami. See the progress that they're having. And ask yourself, are these leaders serving you or are they serving themselves? And I think the answer will be so clear to everybody. Mm-hmm. Democrats are running the city and the county into the ground. And they're going to continue to do it until somebody puts pressure on them like us to say, you're doing a crappy job. There's nothing going well. And so who's going to hold these people accountable? Because it's not going to be at a city council meeting, everybody. Everyone ever gone to these things? They look at you like you are the plague. You get up there for your little minute and a half and you speak and they look at their phones. They don't care about what you have to say. You have no power. The only way we have power as citizens right now is to have a voice like our show does right here, where we try our best to call it like we see it. If it's a Republican screwing up, we're going to call it. If it's a Democrat, we're going to call it. And right here in Orange County and Orlando, what you can see is failed leadership everywhere. And there's no one to blame except for Democrats. They have everything, control over everything in the city and the county. They can't blame Republicans. They can only blame themselves. And it's about time that these people had accountability for just a complete and utter decay of the county and the city. And it's happening quicker than we ever could have imagined. Buddy Dyer will be in office for 25 years when we finally get rid of him. And it's going to be about time, everyone. We need new leadership, new ways of thinking, not the same old crap that we've come to expect in Orange County and Orlando. And I hope to God we get it in the next election, but I fear that we won't, Anthony.
Personally, for me, I very much don't care for either or, like Democrat or Republican.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think the best run cities are the ones that are purple and the ones that have like a mixture of both, like 50-50, where it's like you have like half Democrat, half Republican. They can argue, they can debate, they can come up with solutions from both sides of different party sizes and just come up with a way that can make it better for everyone instead of having one side run a whole thing and then it's not good for the other side. So I think there's definitely just a middle part for everyone. And I don't like having a whole city just run from Democrats, even though sometimes I lean a little bit more left.
Sure.
But I don't think that's right. I think that there should also be some part Republican in there as well, so that there can be a little bit of both in there so they can see.
You're 100% correct. I think that's when our government is at its best, is when you have to compromise. when people push from either side and there has to be progress, and there's progress in the compromise. That's where the progress happens, right? When you have one, it's so far to one side, I don't believe that progress happens there. Or maybe it does, just in the wrong direction, depending on what side of the aisle you're on. I'm sure there's progress that is happening somewhere. I'm sure there's money being allocated to something. We can't figure out what it is here, but I'm sure there's some group of people somewhere that think these leaders are doing a good job. I can't imagine who that group is, but maybe they're somewhere out there and we just don't know them or have heard from them. But I want to draw attention to the fact that this group needs to be held accountable for what happens in the city and the county. They can't blame DeSantis. And I tell you, they're really looking for this. This Amendment 3, this homestead exemption, they're looking to blame DeSantis for this entire thing. Oh, we're going to have a budget shortfall. No, you were going to have a budget shortfall before this amendment. Did it make it worse? Sure, it will make it worse. And I understand that. I agree with that. But that cannot mask the problems that are happening within this community, because they are far greater than any amendment for homestead tax exemptions. And we need to be aware of that. You can't let the county and the city get away with it and go, well, we're just going to blame somebody else instead of blaming ourselves. When is there accountability at this level for the awfulness that has happened, the lack of progress, people flocking out, schools closing, budget deficits, no one wanting to move here? These are the reality on the ground for Orlando and for Orange County, ran completely by Democrats.
Yeah, and I definitely think too, it's just with politics, it's very much one side blaming the other side and the other side blaming the other side. So it's always, there's never a solution where it's like, hey, we did something great, we're doing this right. And I think that's what people need to do. And then when things go wrong, you need to take accountability, be like, hey, I did this wrong, or we did this wrong, we need to change it this way. And I think it's fair just to be like, hey, look, I might be, I don't know, for example, I need these Democrats be like, hey, I'm a Democrat for this, but you know what? I see this Republican right over here saying this idea, and you know what? I agree with this idea because you know it's going to be better for everyone. And I think that's how it should be, and not based on your party's belief. I think it should be on whatever is right for the people.
I completely agree. Just go with what's right and versus what's wrong, not what's Dem or not what's Republican, not what's blue and red, not donkey versus an elephant. It's either right or it's wrong. You either agree with it or you don't as a person. You know, we sat down here with Anna Eskamani. She's far more to the left than what I am, okay? But the first thing we agree on is term limits. Buddy Dyer should not be in office for 25 years. It's ridiculous, everybody. Term limit the guy out. There's rumors, man. There's rumors that guy's thinking about running for mayor again.
That's crazy.
So power hungry, he can't give it up. Why? Because what else has he done, right? Your whole adult life has practically been being a mayor. The guy's not going to give up anything. And so whether I agree with whoever comes in after the guy or not, can we please put in just some kind of term limits on the mayor so this doesn't happen again? Before that, I think we had a guy here for like 22 years, 20 plus years. Enough. You're talking about no more kings. These people who believe in that, you should be saying the exact same thing to Dyer and Demings. Get these guys out of office because they've been the leaders in Orlando and Orange County for so darn long. At some level, we need new blood to be in there so the new decisions can be made. Even if I disagree with them, at least there's going to be progress in one direction or another. The guy needs to give up his power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And he is a great example of that right now.
Are these term limits?
There's none.
Is it term limits? Is it by the states or is it by the count, like the cities and the county?
I think it's by the city and by the county.
Really?
Yeah, he can come back and he can run for mayor again. And you know, sadly, I'm going to say this. I think he'd probably win.
Oh, 100%.
Because when people go to the ballot box, what he understands, and he's understood this for a long time, is that the incumbent never loses. All right. Because as a mayor, people get a chance to see your face, know your name all year long. They get a chance to ride, you know, from getting their bag or from baggage over, well, let's say the TSA over on tram A or tram B, and they hear your voice all the time. I'm Mayor Buddy Dyer. All that stuff. You have name recognition. And when they go to the ballot box and they've got to select the name right there, they look and go, oh, I recognize that one. And they select that guy. Because how bad has it been? At least the city's operating. And so people don't pay attention at the local level enough to make a different decision.
Yeah.
And so he knows that. And the best thing that we can do is that Democrats rally behind somebody and say, no, you got to get out of here. Because at least there is progress if that is the case. Now, we'll see what happens. I hope that he leaves. I think it's been a terrible for Orlando what has happened. But I wanted to bring light to the fact that it has been completely Democrats that are in power right now at the county and the city level. Don't blame the state government for your problems. Go fix the problems at the local level. And if Democrats can't do it, we need to get new people in there that can. And I don't care if they're Democrat, Republican, they just need to have good ideas that they can execute on that will help bring life back to the city and the county that so many of us love. I live in it. I go there. I want this place to be vibrant. And right now it's not happening because these people, well, they're not executing. All right. And we need change right now more than ever. And I hope as citizens, we can appreciate the fact that you may disagree with what Anthony or myself say on this show, but that we are trying to do this from an honest place to try to facilitate change that is so needed in this local area. And we're trying to come at it from an honest place, and we hope that people will accept and appreciate what we're trying to do right here. Anthony, I think that's a good show for today.
Yeah.
We got to a lot of great topics here. I appreciate everybody joining us here on the Patrick Carr Show. We'll be back tomorrow, another great episode on a Tuesday. Have a great rest of your Monday, and we will see everybody tomorrow. See you later.